evening. How you doing? Rob Carson filling in on this Monday night. Those of you who are not paying attention to the NCAA final game, and I just can't get excited about it this year. I just can't get excited about it. I don't know, whatever. Gonzaga 49, and what is it? South Carolina they're playing? 50-50. Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, I'm hopeful that Missouri will be back at least in the Sweet 16 in a year or two. Maybe they'll turn things around. Anyway, welcome to the show, guys. We've got 4 hours with you and me hanging out together. Number one rule here is I want to create compelling radio for you, and I want you to be entertained, and I think we both want to have some fun, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and open the phone lines. We are going to get into the whole Susan Rice and the spy scandal in Washington, D.C. I've done all sorts of copious research on it. I want to get your thoughts on it because you may want to laugh this off. And I'm assuming if you are an Obama supporter or you are a Susan Rice supporter for some reason, even though she's as dishonest as the day is long, something happened and things are going to get real ugly real soon. That's my opinion. Your opinion will be welcome on that topic very shortly on the show. Also, I want to get into this wretched, awful, horrible, square graphic that they're superimposing over TV broadcasts of Major League Baseball games in front of the catcher. Absolutely unacceptable. Unacceptable. We'll get into that, and I'll explain why I don't like it. I actually had a little disagreement, nothing ugly online, with Steve Moore, the program director of this glorious radio station. And he likes it. And I said, you're nuts. So we're gonna get into that. Got a lot of local stuff, got a lot of national stuff, and like I said, we're going to be here all night. So let's just hang out and have a good time. And we'll start off with some good news. All right, here's some good news, unless you're a steak lover. I was on the air last Thursday when news broke of they called it 6 heifers. 6 heifers escaping from a meatpacking plant in St. Louis. 6, apparently it's steers now, all right? These are castrated males. For those of you who didn't grow up on a farm like me, they ran amok. Now they've been given a new lease on life, possibly a future grazing in the lush pastures of a Tennessee animal sanctuary. I know, it's a terrible waste of steak, but I figure if you're going to escape the meatpacking plant, you get a pass. You get a pass. The steers, including Chico, dodged police and animal control officers, ran through a wrought iron fence, and just obviously the animal was scared and knew what was going to happen, and they all got out. So there's this company called the Gentle Barn Animal Sanctuary in Tennessee, and they're going to take them. The director of this animal sanctuary is a guy with the last name Wiener, and he said they're scared. He said of the animals, after they were delivered to the St. Louis area farm, they've gone through a lot, but they're destined for good things. The Gentle Barn has animal sanctuaries in Southern California and Tennessee, according to its website. The organization rescues animals from severe abuse and neglect that are too old, sick, lame, or scared to be adopted into homes. The barn is home to horses, donkeys, cows, pigs, sheep, goats, turkeys and chickens, llamas, peacocks, emus, cats, and dogs. This sounds like remember the old Warner Brothers cartoon where Tasmanian Devil described what he ate: goats, snoats, all that. Yeah, that's kind of what it sounds like. Gentle Barn works with disadvantaged children as well on its ranches. Uses animal husbandry as part of its therapeutic healing philosophy. All right? So what happened was essentially there was a crowdfunding page started with Adam Brewster in Chicago. As of Monday, Brewster had raised $16,500 to help the animals. We have got a whole lot of money in this country. We have got a whole lot of money in this country where you can crowdfund. I swear, you can crowdfund just about everything. I crowdfunded a radio studio. I'm not kidding. It was more looking for investors, but it was crowdfunding. So anyway, they negotiated purchase of these steers, and these steers will not end up on a grill. They will end up at the Gentle Barn. And then there are also some money donated to the Gentle Barn. The Gentle Barn. Yeah, okay. So the steers are rescued. That's good news. That's good news. I got a few things I want to get up to. Then some serious, too. I also want to share a little bit about this boiler explosion. Just unbelievable story. And if any crowdfunding needs to be done, it's for the victims of that. Because you never know how your life is going to change in an instant. You just never know. And at least 3 people's lives ended because of this. And so we'll get into that and other things. And again, I want to get into that whole baseball, the little square in front of the catcher. Do you have a problem with that? Because I got a problem with it. 314-436-7900, 1-800-925-1120. I'm Rob Carson. You are listening to News Radio 1120 KMOX. Rob Carson filling in once again on News Radio 1120 KMOX, the voice of St. Louis. Okay, so I am going to get into the whole Susan Rice now involved in this, what appears to be intel collected, raw intel connected on Donald Trump, his associates, his family, starting a year ago. Apparently, Susan Rice might have been in charge of that, and this is getting ugly. We'll share some of the details, and I've already had several arguments on Facebook. If you think this is going away anytime soon, it ain't. We're going to do this after the top of the hour. All right, so 11 o'clock hour, about 11:06, we're going to start this conversation. So get ready to call. There's a lot of stuff happening that this is the targeting of political enemies. And if you don't believe it, why don't you go ahead and look at the IRS scandal with 501c3s that were conservative. All right? That is using the power of the government and abusing the Fourth Amendment. And it only targeted Trump and his associates. And this whole thing about Hillary Clinton and the election being thrown and Donald Trump working with the Russians to throw the election in favor of Donald Trump, that's nothing more than a distraction from the real story. And I think it's going to get ugly. So we'll get to that very shortly on the show. Like I said, be ready to call. I want your thoughts on it. This, I'm just going to say this real quick, and I don't want to bring down the room, but I'm just saying that, 3 people were killed, 4 others injured today when an explosion sent a massive boiler crashing through the roof of the St. Louis box company. This thing was the size of a minivan. This explosion was unbelievable. So 1 person died at 8 in the morning at the Loy Lang Box Company. 2 more were killed when a large piece of the boiler crashed through the Faultless Healthcare Linen building. This according to Fire Chief Dennis Jenkerson. This is unbelievable. 2 of the 4 survivors are critically injured, including a linen company worker who was found pinned beneath the boiler, which Jenkerson said was roughly 4 feet in diameter, 10 feet long, weighed about 1.5 tons. This is unreal. The boiler was still hot when rescuers arrived. It flew 500 feet in the air. They condemned the box company, in case you haven't heard that. This is just, you never know how your life is going to change and when it's going to change. In Texas last week, a guy was driving a dually pickup truck, and he was texting, and he slammed into a church van. 13 people died. By the way, they believe the explosion, of course, was accidental, and investigators from the U.S. Department of Labor, OSHA, are working at the scene. The company had paid a almost $4,000 fine after an August 2016 inspection found holes in floors that prevented proper cleaning. An inspection in November 14 found defective equipment, including a forklift without lights and damage to some safety latches. Company paid about $7,000 there. 2014, the company paid $2,450 for defective energy control procedures. Whatever, I don't know. It's just terrible, but for the victims of this, and just nobody expects to be working and have this happen. What a horrible thing. And I'm not want to proselytize here, but say a prayer for the victims, will you? Because like I said, you never know when your life is going to change or end, and just be thankful for every day you got. Sorry. That story just, the fragility of life is just Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So let's talk about this. I watched the Cardinals home opener. I didn't have tickets. And it was lovely, a nice victory, particularly because it's over the Cubs. So it was nice. Wasn't it nice? A nice day, nice game. Here we are in one of the most glorious cities in the country for baseball. If not, I'll just say it is because I have spent more time, and I've been in baseball parks around the country. I've never found a place like Busch Stadium. But yesterday, watching the game, couple of things. I love the national anthem at the beginning of the show, or the beginning of the game. I love it. I think God Bless America is a little redundant later in the game, and I think we should have just left it up to national anthem and then take me out to the ball game. Whatever. That's some people. I don't know if everybody in major leagues is doing God Bless America. Listen, I have no problem with God Bless America. I just think, just take me out to the ball game. National anthem, take me out to the ball game. I don't know. Whatever. Then the other thing is this lousy, awful square box in front of the catcher that's superimposed. Now, I like some of the graphic things that some sports are doing. I like the NFL. I like the line where the first down line is. I kind of like seeing that superimposed. Although they've gone a little crazy, they've got all sorts of angles on the field, and they've got literally at the beginning of a break, they've got big, like it looks like almost a stage, and it's superimposed on the field, and it's getting to be a little much, getting to be a little much. But this whole superimposition of the strike zone on the catcher I've got a real problem with this. I want to be able to decide, in my mind, when it's a strike or when it's not. And when, I like that. Are we going to take everything interesting out of baseball? I mean, yes, we love the hits and we love but honestly, there is some drama with each pitch, right? Isn't there some drama with each pitch? And if you have the strike zone superimposed on the catcher, they're killing it. It's a buzzkill. I don't like it. I'd like to know your thoughts on this. It bothered me. The number here is 314-436-7900, 1-800-925-1120. Now, we hear a lot about automation in the country. And, if you're working at Schnucks or Walmart, and you're the last, the live cashier, and you're next to the automated cashier, or the cash registers with the one person monitoring them all, or let's talk about what's happening with the automated cars, the self-driving cars. What's that going to do to the trucking industry? What's that going to do to Uber? What's that going to do to cab driving? And guys, in some minor league franchises, they are using cameras to call plays. They're getting rid of umpires, whether it be third base, first base, whatever. They're getting rid of them. And I think this is the next step towards getting rid of umpires. And listen, I understand there's the human element, which is a possibility of an error. But I didn't like it last night. And first of all, I didn't like the interruption and the intrusion of the graphic on top of a player and a bat that I want to see swing. I want to see it swing. I want to see the play. I want to make up my mind whether it was a strike or a ball. And then I want to argue with the umpire if I don't believe it was a strike and he says it's a strike. You know what I'm saying? This bothers me. This I didn't like the experience yesterday. Obviously on radio you don't have that sort of superimposition. You've got a guy in there talking, and that's the glory of listening to radio on this or baseball on this glorious radio station, because it leaves it up to your. Television takes every amount of imagination out of everything, and now they're doing it with this stupid box on the catcher. I don't know. I was talking to my producer Mike. He says, I can't believe anybody would think this is a good idea. Yet I was talking to Steve Moore today, the program director of this fantastic radio station. He was all down with it. I'm like, no. The number's here, 314-436-7900, 1-800-925-1120. My name is Rob Carson. You are listening to News Radio 1120, KMOX. We had a 1-point ball game. Gonzaga and South Carolina, minute 25 to go. I hope Gonzaga pulls this out. I do. I don't know. They've never been or they've never won. North Carolina's always in. They lost last year, but North Carolina is always in. I would like to see Gonzaga. I like the sound of Gonzaga. Gonzaga sounds like something you'd say if you're going to commit Harry Carey. Gonzaga! Or maybe just do a shot of, rice wine. Sake. Gonzaga! And then drink. I don't know. Kind of like the sound of it. Anyway, welcome to the late night show. My name is Rob Carson. I'm filling in tonight. The number's here, 314-436-7900, 1-800-925-1120. If you are fascinated, as I am, by the surveillance of the Trump campaign and the Trump transition team by, it appears to be, the Obama administration with Susan Rice at the head of it. We will talk about that a little bit after the top of the hour. But I'm talking right now about baseball, and God bless baseball. God bless the boys of summer. God bless the sound of baseball on the radio. And I will tell you, not so happy about the broadcast on television of the games, because of this box they're superimposing. Some are superimposing in front of the catcher. It is obtrusive. It is obnoxious. It doesn't exist in reality, and it should not exist between the batter and the catcher. And honestly, it is an affront. It's an affront to the game as a spectator. It is an affront to the officiating team. Nancy's on the line. Nancy, welcome to News Radio 1120 KMOX. Your thoughts on the box?
I think it's absolutely ridiculous.
Oh.
I think maybe because the game was televised on ESPN, when it gets back to Fox Network, they won't have it. But who cares? I mean, let baseball be baseball. I'm 84 years old, and I've been a fan of baseball ever since I was 10 years old. And we don't need all these changes and trying to make it look like, yes, it was a strike. No, it wasn't a strike. Let the umpire do his job.
Amen.
And we don't need to see that box.
Well, God bless you, Nancy. You sound very spry for an 84-year-old.
Well, thank you, and I just hope that when we get back to Fox Network, it'll be different and just not all this other stuff that we don't need.
Listen, I want you to listen to this girl. You're 84 years old. You sound very plugged in, particularly when it comes to sports.
Well, I used to go out to the airport and have my dad take me when the Cardinals used to fly in.
Yeah.
When I was a little girl, I kept scrapbooks, and I still watch every single game that they play.
Let me ask you this, Nancy, just off the subject. What is your most memorable Cardinals event with maybe your dad? What was the best thing you ever saw?
Well, I went to the game when Bob Gibson pitched in the World Series and broke the strikeout record.
Wow. What year was that, if you don't mind? I'm trying to remember here. I'm not.
I can't remember.
All right.
I can't remember what year it was,
well,
but
bless you.
I follow it very carefully.
Well, bless you, Nancy. I appreciate your phone call tonight.
Okay, thank you.
Have a glorious evening, and thanks for listening.
Okay.
All right, Frank is on the line. Hello, Frank. Frank likes the God Bless America song in the seventh inning.
I love
Okay.
God Bless America.
Well, what I was worried about,
it.
Frank, and I understand. I wasn't sure if some teams were replacing Take Me Out the Ballgame with God Bless America. Now, if that were the case, I'm like, that should not happen. But if they're doing,
we gotta have God Bless America and the baseball game.
Okay,
And
you got to play. Take Me Out.
The box.
Yeah.
I love it for one reason.
What?
My wife last night was so hilarious. What's wrong with the umpire? Can't he see that was a strike? It was so much fun. They should keep it in just so some guys can watch your wives get up. My wife, she's a Cardinal fan.
Yeah.
She loves it. I had to go buy her a red car last week. Because she wanted a red car again, and it had to be a Mustang and be a convertible.
Nice.
And I got her what she wanted.
Oh, you
but
stud.
She loves the Cardinals. And you were talking about the self-driving car.
Yes.
Replacing trucking.
Yeah.
It ain't gonna happen.
I hope not, buddy. I hope not. I really hope not.
Who's gonna fill up the reefer tank? Who's gonna turn the reefer to -20?
Yep.
Who's gonna do all if the tire blows?
Yep.
And I know a little bit about trucking because can you hear this?
What? Oh, dude! Well, I know a little about trucking because I worked 4 years at a truck stop on I-80 in Neola, Iowa, when I was a teenager.
Yes.
So
yes, I've been through there. I've been driving a truck for. This is the old adage: longer than you've been alive, Sonny.
Yeah.
I've been driving trucks for 48 years. I've been driving tractor trailers for 35 years.
Now, what are you driving tonight, and where are you going, and what are you hauling?
Well, I go from St. Louis, where I live.
Yep.
I go to Mississippi, where I am now in Oxford, and I go back to Alton, Illinois. I haul the product, the lead for the Winchester make the bullets and all that.
Oh, you are a badass.
I just upset a bunch of people.
You deliver that lead for the bullets. Oh my, bravo, my brother.
And I
bravo.
bring back bullets too.
So you're not delivering chicken nuggets. I mean, this is serious.
Yeah, we're bringing back bullets and ammunition for. I even bring some back for the FBI and all that stuff.
No kid.
But there's a lot of people who hate me right now because I'm hauling ammo. But
no, there are a lot more people who love you, brother.
I'm making it. Yes, there is. I'm making a paycheck and buying my wife that damn convertible.
All right, Frank. Have a glorious evening, man. Talk to you soon. You bet. All right. So Gonzaga lost. They lost. They kind of lost it at the very last 30 seconds. What was it? 6-point, 7-point ball game. Mike, I'm kind of seeing it. I'm in the other room. But yeah, I wanted Gonzaga to win. That sucks. I don't know. Whatever. Anyway. Let's see here. Okay. Like I said, I've got a lot of things I want to get to tonight. And I want to get to the surveillance of the Trump campaign and the Trump family. We're going to do that, like I said, a little bit after the top of the hour. So be ready for that. On the way, I used to want to live in Chicago. I used to want to do radio in Chicago because I like Chicago deep dish pizza and I like Chicago radio. There was a suggestion. Things have gotten so bad. There's a segment I like to do on my show called So It's Come to This. You will not believe what it's come to in neighborhoods as hell in Chicago. They're talking about some people seriously considering giving children bulletproof vests and helmets to get to school. I am not kidding you. And we'll share details on that coming up. Your thoughts on all of these things we're talking about tonight. 314-436-7900, 1-800-925-1120. I'm Rob Carson. You're listening to News Radio 1120 KMOX. Carson filling in on News Radio 1120 KMOX, and I'm on until 2, so hang out with me, man. I want to have some fun tonight. And woman, by the way. I'm not trying to say just dudes. Anyway, hang out. We're going to have some fun tonight. We're going to talk about the serious issues of the day and the not-so-serious issue of the day. And by the way, if you'd like to follow me on Facebook, it is Rob Carson Show. Facebook at Rob Carson Show. I have a website, robcarsonshow.com. And I think you'll enjoy both of those. I've got podcasts up there. By the way, Gonzaga lost to North Carolina. They redeemed themselves after losing last year, but I'm so tired of North Carolina. You know, I actually went to Chapel Hill. I had a girlfriend in Chapel Hill. It's a marvelous school. It's a storied tradition in basketball. But, you know, really, come on. I really wish Gonzaga would have won. You know, I like that 7-foot Polish dude. I thought he was kind of cool. So, it's over. The NCAA tournament for men is over. 71-65 UNC over Gonzaga. You got to be impressed by Gonzaga. Gonzaga's been this name that's been out there for a long time. I remember when I lived in Columbia, Missouri, and I used to follow the Tigres, the Missouri Tigres. That's what we call it in Columbia, the Tigres. And Gonzaga would pop up, and you'd think, what Gonzaga? What is? I don't even know their mascot. Mike, the producer, what is their mascot? The Tar Heels is the North Carolina. What is the mascot for the Gonzaga? What are they? The Samurai Warriors? Gonzaga. It just sounds like, Anyway. So they won. I have a segment that I do on my show called So It's Come to This. And, man, there are days you just go, it's really come to this. It's really come to this. Chicago is Beirut right now. I mean, Chicago is a mess. There are neighborhoods in Chicago that are just a mess, and we have some of the same neighborhoods in St. Louis. We have some of the same neighborhoods in Gary, Indiana. We have the same neighborhoods in Los Angeles. We've got the same neighborhoods in Atlanta. It's just, And they're largely African-American communities, and that's the thing that sucks. But it's a crisis, and if you want to curl up in a ball and act like it's not happening, then, you're a fool. Because regardless of color, there are a lot of people suffering. And there's a crisis. There's a crisis that's been going on for a very long time. Apparently, there was a violent day in the South Shore neighborhood, Chicago. A lot of violence there. 4,000 people were murdered in Chicago while Barack Obama was president. I think about 3,000 people were shot last year in Chicago while Barack Obama was president. But they have a new serious suggestion. This is according to CBS Chicago. Yes, folks, it's come to this with protecting children from being shot in Chicago. And by the way, children are dying in St. Louis, too.
Activist Tio Hardiman of Violence Interrupters suggested this, and he wasn't kidding.
Right now, the young people need bulletproof vests and helmets. Sincerely.
Dr. Matt Harrington was with Hardiman. He's CEO of Ammo Coating Systems.
Let's hear that again.
Tio Hardiman of Violence Interrupters suggested this, and he wasn't kidding.
Right now, the young people need bulletproof vests and helmets. Sincerely.
Dr. Matt Harrington was with Hardiman.
Okay, that's the same thing that American troops wear in theaters of war. Whether it be Iraq or Afghanistan, maybe Syria. Listen to that again. This is what they're considering in a major U.S. city for children.
Activist Tio Hardiman of Violence Interrupters suggested this, and he wasn't kidding.
Right now, the young people need bulletproof vests and helmets. Sincerely.
Dr. Matt Harrington was with Hardiman.
Wow.
He's CEO of Ammo Coating Systems and is behind legislation to require ammunition manufacturers to make bullets traceable.
And they say, okay, Mr. Smith, the bullets you bought are now in this poor 5-year-old's head over here. Explain how this happened.
He has signatures from the city's 911 operators. He said they hear the cries of anguish every day.
It's come to this, folks. I mean, it is. Wow. Suggesting that children going to school wear the same things that our troops do in theaters of war. It's come to this. I mean, is that bat guano crazy, or I don't even... wow. I mean, there are cities all over the country where children are being shot. Kansas City, St. Louis, Chicago. I mean, honestly, wow. Unbelievable. All right, let's move on. I know that's quite serious. But what the heck? Wow. Chicago is just, I don't know. I remember when I was 21 years old, I went to Chicago for the very first time. It was also my very first airline flight. I know. It was later 80s. And Chicago was just this gleaming city, and Michigan Avenue right there along the lake, and these buildings that just went up for a mile, and it was, man, I just loved it. Now you couldn't pay me enough to live in Chicago. Yeah, nope. And unfortunately, a lot of people are dying. It stinks. Okay. Can I do another? I've been sitting on this story since last Thursday. I was supposed to be on Friday on KMOX, but there was a Blues hockey game, and it went real late. And so I didn't get a chance to share a lot of the stories. And I was ready to go, man. But I understand. Blues are much more important than any thoughts that I have on anything. But anyway, apparently thanks to a BuzzFeed video, which runs less than a minute, restaurant in St. Louis has been swamped with 3-hour waits last week. They ran out of food. Have you heard about this? Twisted Ranch, which serves dishes that have 27 types of ranch dressing in them or on them. There were 3-hour waits on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and on Friday we had to close early because they're out of food. And again, there's this 58 Second video about Twisted Ranch. The video's been... Can you think of a food item that is more popular than ranch dressing? Because gosh darn it, ranch dressing is good on everything. And I'm a foodie. I've got cooking videos on the web. But what a great idea. Chad Allen, Jim Hayden. They're the owners of Twisted Ranch, opened in 2015. 1730 South 8th Street. They make these all sorts of... This is spectacular. What a brilliant idea. Why can't I come up with an idea like this? They come up with all these ranch dressing flavors. So cheesy bacon has cheese and bacon. Ruffalo is a roasted garlic and buffalo. This is just brilliant. This is just brilliant. Twisted Ranch must go. I'm going to post Twisted Ranch's website on my Facebook page. And that is Rob Carson Show. Facebook at Rob Carson Show. All right. I'm trying to think if I have any local stories I want to cover before the top of the hour. No. Well, I do want to mention something. St. Louis has called for this increase in the minimum wage. The mayor of Baltimore has learned a lesson from it. And after careful analysis, has figured that it would destroy the city's economy. We've already heard that St. Louis would lose well more than 1,000 jobs because of this increase in the minimum wage and working towards $15 an hour. And it's stupid because just 2 years ago, it was 10-10. Everybody wanted 10-10. Then they decided to go to 15. You know why they decided to go to 15? Because unions decided that at $15 you could pay dues. That's what it's all about, folks. Since being elected to Baltimore in November, Catherine Pugh has changed her mind on the merits of forcing employers to pay a high hourly wage. One of the reasons, there are 76,000 unemployed workers, and it would drive businesses out of the city to surrounding counties. Also, here's another thing, the minimum wage increase would drive up costs for the city's government, too. Oh, there it is. So over the next seven years, the administration would have to pay another $116 million for city workers. All right, on the way. Going to talk a little bit about this. Oh, no, we're going to talk a lot about this. Obama surveillance of the Trump campaign and family. Looks like it's narrowing into Susan Rice, who's not a particularly honest person. Oh, also, in Missouri, red light cameras voted down. Bravo, Mo. Come on, baby. I'm Rob Carson. You're listening to News Radio 1120 KMOX.